Hello valued viewers, I hope you're all doing very well. About 2 years ago, 2022, I did a public poll asking you guys which you thought were the major hurdles stopping you getting into DCS. Thousands of you responded and we got some really good data. 2 years later, I'm finally getting around to addressing that poll and making some videos about it. Sorry it's taken so long, we've just been a bit busy and had some various stuff going on. The number one problem that you guys saw was cost. And so last week we addressed that as best we could with a video showing various paths of getting into DCS to make it as affordable as possible but yet still be fun. Today we're looking at the second largest hurdle as reported by you guys, the mind-boggling complexity of DCS. And you're absolutely right, it's designed from ground up to be extremely complex and detailed, but you can make it simple. And that's what we're going to look at today. Today we're going to breeze over installation all the way to shooting bad guys down and keeping it as simple as possible. So, step 1, you need to download and install DCS. And I refer you to previous videos that I've done. In fact, let me show on the screen now this playlist in YouTube I have. DCS Explained, 95 videos, and I've gone through and created videos over the last 6 years of everything I think a DCS noob will need to get into DCS. We start with what is DCS, an introduction, what you need, how much it costs, different ways to get into DCS, the history of DCS, how to buy modules, and so on. So the first thing I'll do is put a link to this playlist in the video description and you can look at whatever you need. It goes through hardware, software, aircraft, modifying aircraft, painting aircraft, how to use keyboard, I'm just picking ones out at random here, and so on from a noob's point of view. Alright, so we've downloaded and installed DCS. The next thing we'll need is to buy an aircraft. It does actually come with 2 aircraft for free as standard, but let's face it, no one really wants to fly a 1980s low manufacture run Soviet ground attack aircraft made in Tbilisi. You want to fly your favorite sexy fighter, F-14, F-15, F-16, whatever. So we need to go and buy, download, and install a module. And surprise, surprise, I refer you right back here. How to buy, install DCS modules, not through Steam. And I suggest not using Steam where possible. Alright, so we've got our aircraft, we've got it installed, and we've booted DCS up, and here we are. The first thing I'm going to do is make sure my module is installed. I go to Module Manager here, pip. In this case, let's say we went out and bought the F-16C, one of my favorites. It's complex, but not overwhelmingly complex. As it happens, I already have it installed. If I didn't and I had already bought it, then it would be in this list that pops up by default. I could tick it and I could press OK and that would fully install it for me, but we don't need to in this case. Probably one more thing I'd point out, if you're a real noob and you just can't handle a high fidelity aircraft at the moment, there are noob friendly aircraft for DCS. They're known as Flaming Cliffs aircraft. You'll know them because they're cheap. Here's one right here, a MiG-29. $15. That's a noob-friendly, low-fidelity aircraft. But in this case, we want to go for the high-fidelity aircraft and make it as simple as possible. All right, all good. Next, what about our options? Let's go to our options here, and we have a plethora of options. We have graphical options. You want to know a bit more about that? Yes, I refer you back to DCS Explained. It's in there, but to be honest, unless you're really experienced in this stuff, I would suggest leaving it alone or just using the presets at the bottom, and that's pretty much what I've done. I'm not a tech guy and I barely understand any of these options myself. So generally speaking, I just go to high based on the PC that I have and leave it at that. We also have other stuff like gameplay, like MISC, like audio, like special, and again I've covered those in the various videos in the DCS Explained or other relevant playlists in YouTube. That brings us on to the next and probably the most important part of this video. Something that really upsets, or should I say scares off people, is controls. Controls in most games, even a lot of sims, are simple. DCS, they're incredibly complex, and that's because of how the sim works. It's super realistic. Every switch and button is modeled, which makes it intrinsically complex. But wherever there's complexity, we can simplify. And that's what I've personally done in DCS. So we've bought our fictitious F-16C that happened to be on sale. Let's select it up here. F-16C. Well, let's see. How many controls are there? 20, 30, 40? No, there are hundreds and 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 hundreds, maybe 1,000 controls for this aircraft. And it's not even a particularly big aircraft. But don't let that worry you. 99.9% of that stuff you'll never need. It's just there if you want it. So how do we simplify this? Really, you need about 20 controls maximum, and that's the same for all the aircraft in DCS. So we just need to focus on those. So how do we find those controls? Well, I've put two things in place to help you as best I can, viewers. Firstly, and I refer you back to my trusty playlists, not DCS Explained, but this one here. A collection of YouTube tutorial playlists for each aircraft. Of course, I'll put this in the video description. I have spent years making thousands of videos showing you how to use every single function in every single aircraft. I don't know how many I've got, but it must be well over 1,000 by now. Why did I do this? I don't know. I'm pretty stupid. I haven't made any money from it, and it's, to be honest, from my point of view and my wife's point of view, been a big waste of time. But hopefully for you guys, it's been useful. When you open up the link, you will see all of the aircraft in DCS, including a lot of the complex mods in alphabetical order. A10A, A10C, A29, A4E, AH64, and so on. Not all are finished. Apache, for instance, I've only just started, but most are pretty highly served. Well, let's go to our F-16C, FFFFF. There she is, F-16C, 80 videos. What the hell? Don't let that scare you. It's fine. I'm going to go view full playlist. Here we go. Each of these playlists is set out the same. We start with controls, we go on to cockpit, more cockpit stuff, we go on to the HUD, we go on to flight instruments, and so on. Navigation, sensors, air to ground, air to air, and miscellaneous. So, controls are what we're looking at today. For each of these aircraft, I've done a video showing all of the controls I think you need to bind. So that's going to be about 20 controls per aircraft. Now, I can't show exactly where to put each of those controls on your joystick or your HOTAS because you've all got different joysticks and HOTASes. But what I can say is which controls you need of the thousands available, what those controls do, and roughly where you should put them. Should you put them on your trigger? Should you put them on your slider? And whatnot. And I describe where I put them on my particular HOTAS. And that's pretty much the best I can do for you until DCS improves or simplifies its control system, and they will do that. I've gone one step further. If you happen to have the same joystick as me, then I can actually send you a file which sets everything up for you. So if we go back to DCS Explained here, if you happen to have an X56, a fairly popular entry-level stick, then look, I've got this here. Back to our Explained playlist, how to download and install CAPS X56 HOTAS controls. I've got them all uploaded for every aircraft. Just follow the procedure and then, hey presto, you've got them all set up by magic, the same as me. At some point I moved to Wing, and so obviously I've done Wing as well. But to be honest, the most useful one for you is each aircraft's individual setup. Alright, so that's our controls set for our F-16. I haven't changed anything, so let's cancel back to main menu. Next, viewers, we want to do our first flight, and each aircraft comes with instant action and training missions that you can do, and that's fine, but I'm not that kind of guy. I've never actually run a single one. Everything I do, I like to make myself, and that applies to every facet of my life. My house has pretty much been built by my own hands. So I'm going to go to Mission Editor here. I'm going to go to create a mission, and I suggest you all get used to doing this because it will empower you. Caucasus will be the map that you have by standard and is free. The mission editor is fairly complex, but like everything in DCS and everything in life, it can be made simple with the exception of rocket science and brain surgery. And you know what I'm going to say at this point. I've got a playlist for this. It's a playlist that no one's really seen because it's never been pushed by anyone, but it's here. I've spent a long time creating videos to put in my tutorials mission editor playlist, where I've explained how to do pretty much everything you could want to do in mission editor. You can work it out yourself by trial and error, but this will save you a lot of headache, so please make use of it. Let's just do it click by click, showing how simple we can make this. I want to fly from Batumi today, so left click Batumi. Make it a blue base. Next, we want to put an aeroplane in there to fly. It's going to be our lovely new shiny F-16. So aeroplane. There. I want to make it USA. That's fine. I want to make it a F-16. So F-16 there. I want to give it some weapons. So I can do this in game, but I'm going to do it here because I'm lazy. I'm just trying to decide what to do. Let's do a bit of anti-radiation plus a bit of anti-air, shall we? So to simplify things, task, seed, or sead, pop. And that will give us some presets here. We don't have to use the presets. Let's go for that one there. Some harms, anti-radiation, and some air-to-air AMRAAMs. Lovely. Oh, and a harm targeting pod. Let's force the aircraft to start from the ground, so take off from parking hot, and let's make it not AI flown, but human flown, so client. You can use player, but client allows it to be used in multiplayer, and to be honest, everything I do is multiplayer. To be honest, that's all I need to do. That's me done, ready to go. Let's put some baddies in, viewers, and let me show you how simple it can be, and why, again, I suggest you empower yourself to do this. Let me just measure this out here. Yeah, that's fine. Right, I'm going to put a SAM site to shoot. So, I'm going to click on that icon there, templates, pip. I'm going to make a Russian SA6 battery, south-facing, and I want it to be there. Poop, done, all ready to blow up. Next, I want some baddie aircraft. So, aircraft, go there. Russian, what shall we have? Well, you know what? Because I want to make this as easy as possible, because I'm a giant noob, I'm going to make it a transport aircraft, an AN-26. There, he's going to go there as a waypoint, there, and then there. And associated with waypoint 3, advanced waypoint actions, add, perform task, orbit. Right, save mission. Not that. Let's save it as noob mission. Go. Alright, viewers, let's go. As you can probably tell, none of this is scripted, as I don't like scripting my videos anyway, viewers. I like doing it by heart, which is, I think, why some of you like watching. Right, F-16C. It will automatically give the option of, because I made it client. So, click. Oh, blast, I can't see around my cockpit. Oops, let me turn those sounds right down for today. Press escape. Let me show you how to do that. Press escape. Press options. I can also adjust my controls on the fly there, viewers, but press options. Let me turn that sound down so I can hear you. Oh, I can't look around the cockpit. Let me turn on my head tracker. Again, full videos explaining how I set my head trackers up in the DCS Explained video. You may do it differently, and that's fine. La, head tracker. And I would, to be honest, not try and play without one nowadays. It's very difficult to play without a head tracker. Don't worry, they're dirt cheap, covered in my videos. Obviously, you can get them for well under $50, and mine's been going for 7 years, for God's sake. Right, that's it, viewers. We can go and take off and do stuff. Major problem, viewers. I don't know how to fly this aircraft, so better whack out the user manual. So let's go to where you've installed the game. Let's go into the game. Let's go to, oh god, mods. Let's go to aircraft. Where's my lovely new F-16? There it is. Pop. Documentation. There. This is how you find manuals, by the way. Yes, I'm aware it's horrendously badly hidden, but I want it in English. Open. Manual. Let's see how many pages. What, 10, 20, 30 pages max, I would imagine? Oh, no. It is 468 pages, and this is one of the more simple aircraft. Some are up to 700, 800 pages. Oh no, I'm gonna quit and go and play War Thunder. Don't worry, viewers. The great thing about DCS is it covers everything in minute detail. Every switch, or every smudge on every switch is covered. But again, we can make it simple. So, scratch the manual. It's not for us today. We don't have time, and most of you don't have time for this stuff. So, manual, for most of you, is going to be there for if you really get stuck with something, and then you can go and seek out the problem. We need another way to learn, and there are lots of different ways to learn, and surprise, surprise, I've done videos on this as well. Look, here it is in my DCS Explained playlist, the best way to learn DCS. But for today, I'm going to learn from Grim Reaper's tutorials, which, to be honest, are getting fairly good. When I started 5 years ago, I had no idea what I was doing, but now I'm getting moderately good. So, If we go from the playlist link that I sent you, I click on the F-16 and here we are, 80 videos showing how to do pretty much everything in the F-16. Oh, I haven't got time to do all of that. That's ridiculous. Well, that's a great thing, viewers. You don't have to. You only need to learn what you need to learn. So, I'm going to watch the control setup one and set up my controls. Cold start, haven't got time for that. And as you can see, I've made the aircraft hot start when I created my mission. INS alignment, oh good lord, no, I haven't got time for any of that. No, I haven't got time for any of the shutdown, no, soy, no time for any of this. Okay, what do we have time for? For the time-strapped noob, air-to-air BVR radar. Gonna have to watch that, I'm afraid. Gotta learn the radar, at least the most important bits. ACM radar, yep, that's a good one for short-range engagements. Air-to-ground radar, we'll put that off. We haven't got time at the moment. What about mark points? Don't need that. HSD, not today. Let's look at, what do we got? Missiles, AMRAAM. Right, 20 minutes. Let's go through it and learn the AMRAAM. Sidewinder, let's learn the Sidewinder. Right, what else have we got? Harm. I want to do some anti-radiation. 5 minutes there. 9 minutes, 2 different modes. Let's do the other mode as well. No, in fact, I haven't got time. Just those 2 there. Right, boom. That's it. We're ready to go. We've got the basics down. Now let's put that into operation. And this lends into what I'm trying to talk about today, viewers. And that is that I personally fly every aircraft in DCS, 50 or something there must be now, each with a 4 to 6, 7, 800 page manual. Very complex aircraft. And there's no way I can remember all of them. And of course I don't. No human could possibly do that. So what you do is you remember the key bits. Don't worry about the big manual. Just remember the key functions you need to operate and to have fun, and that's literally what we're going to do today. I'm going to use probably 10 controls here, and I'm going to go and shoot some SAMs, shoot some bad guys, maybe even come and land and have some fun. Because I am a time-strapped noob, I've got to go and look after my baby viewers right and off like that. Okay, I'm going to put my controls on the bottom right just to show you. Have a little warm-up. There we go. Lovely. Let's go and taxi, shall we? So I'm going to put my thrust forward. And I'm going to turn my rudder axis on my... oh, it doesn't work. What have I done wrong? Whoops! I forgot to set my nozzle steering. Press that button, all covered in the relevant control video. Ah, there we go. Right, my rudder axis now works. Whatever happens, don't stamp on it too hard and we might flip over. Otherwise, guide yourself nicely to the taxiway. Discipline, let's not go too fast. Let's taxi at a sensible rate of 70 knots. Whoops, that's a bit too fast. Let's slow down. Let's apply our toe brakes. I would have been kicked out the USAF by now already for going so fast. Applied toe brakes, slowed down. That's much better. Ah, here comes a corner. Don't roll too far. Oh. Remember, I'm a time-strapped noob, viewers. So, I'm not following standard operating procedure here, but I'm having fun, viewers, because I haven't got time to learn it. But that's okay. On the runway and stop. Right, pretty much ready to go. Let's get our standard operating procedure and check our pre-checklist how to take off. Oh wait, no, because I'm a time-strapped noob, but I don't have time for that nonsense. Let's get on with it. Make sure we're roughly straight, and we're going to go full power. And I'm going to use my toe brakes left and right. It's not standard operating procedure, and you would be kicked out of the Air Force for doing it, but it's how I'm going to do it, because I haven't got time. Right, you see my little toe brakes going left and right, left, right. And a bit of aft stick. When am I supposed to rotate? Can't remember because I've got 50 aircraft. So just do it roughly by feel. Does it feel I'm going fast enough? Yeah, it feels about right. Bit of aft stick. And she'll take off at 200 knots, hopefully. Gosh, she's heavy. Bloody hell. Up. Press the G button and your gear will start raising. Up they go. Wonderful news. G button is universal for all aircraft in DCS. Okay, so far all I've done is my stick. Aft, left and right. I've done a bit of toe brake, I've done a bit of rudder axis, I've done my throttle, and I've pressed the G button. And so far it's all been pretty fun. Right, let's see if I can remember how to use my harm. Let's see, I've watched my tutorial, 5-minute tutorial. Air to ground I've got to press, yep, definitely. My harm, what have I got to do? Do something with it, haven't I? Power on. There we go, brilliant. I'm going to make sure my hard point is turned on because I'm going to be using a HTS pod. In this particular aircraft, we have cheek pod and cheek pod, and they have to be powered. Heavens, don't forget that, viewers. Again, covered in the relevant videos. Well, I can't remember. Is it left or right? Don't know. Let's turn both on. Won't do any harm. Right, what next, viewers? We're in air-to-ground mode, yeah. So let's go and try and put on our HAD, our Harm Attack Display. Does it stand for? Don't know, can't remember. Doesn't really matter. Haven't got time. So let's go. There it is. I went to main menu, by the way, and I'll click on HAD. There it is. It's off. What on earth does that mean? Oh, right, because I've just turned it on, so it's powering up. Right, I get it. So let's wait for it to power on. Oh, there it is. Only took a few minutes. Lovely. Right, let's go and use it to shoot that SAM. Not soy. Soy sauce? What does it mean, soy? Right, let's think. What does Capowist say? Soy, S-O-I. Sensor of interest. Sensor of interest. Right, so it's saying to me that I need to make this sensor soy, sensor of interest, to use it. Pretty much a universal thing in USAF aircraft. Right, let's do that. What did Cap say that I need to do to make it soy? It was data management switch down, I think, in his video. Let's try that. Ah, lovely. It's now soy because it doesn't say not soy and it has a box around it. Right, we can go and do a thing. Let's go and look for that SAM, shall we? And again, as ever, this video is not scripted and I haven't even checked if the SAM works, so we'll just see. I remember it was to the north. How do I know which way north is? Magnetic compass. Right, yeah. North. Up on the HUD, I think. Yeah, up there, look. Right, so why is the SAM that I want to shoot not in my HUD display? Because that's what it was on Cap's video. Other videos are available, of course. Well, let's go and find out. F10, I press F10, look. Well, here they are over here. Oh my god, shot a missile at me. That wasn't supposed to happen. I'm just going to pause that because that's actually an interesting point. How on earth has that SAM shot a missile at us without us knowing? Press F6 and it will go to the nearest missile, and that is the nearest missile. Well, that's because these sensors are all modelled. It's an important point. They're not designed to be noob-friendly. They're designed to be realistic in DCS. So that locked onto me and shot at me just like it would in real life. My harm detection system here doesn't magically detect that that SAM is there. It takes a while. It takes seconds or tens of seconds once it's powered on to actually detect the radiation from that SAM site. So don't worry, it's noob-friendly. My RWR will warn us that that's coming. Ah, no, I forgot to turn the RWR on. Whoops. This guy here should be warning me that that SAM's firing at me, which I can basically see there. My bad. Let's turn it on. Shouldn't have skipped the warm-up tutorial, should I? Oh my god, we get fired at missile launch! Quick, go, go, go! Or should we get shot down here, viewers? Right, what does Cap's missile evasion tutorials always say? Head for the ground, get low. Line of sight the missile if possible, go behind a mountain. Watch out for man pads. Chaff and flare. Haven't even set the chaff and flare up, so I can't even do that. Doesn't matter. Don't have time. Noob-friendly video. Right. Hopefully, my harm, HTS, harm targeting systems start to pick up that radiation. Let's go and have a look. Right, you SOB, and it hasn't. How frustrating. That's okay. Let's live with it. Oh, there it is. Pause. Look, a thing's just appeared. A red 6 has appeared on my HUD. Why is it red? Dunno. Doesn't matter. Don't have time. Let's go and have some fun. Right, when I'm unpause, I'm going to use my, and you all know this by now because you've all watched a video, RDR cursor switch and target management switch up to move our cursor over to it. Pip. TMS up. Pip. We got him locked. Right, is master arm on? No. Come on, put it on. Fire at, aim at him. Use the ASL azimuth steering line to find him, and I can visualize him with a box and fire! Missile out. Let's get the chuff out of here. Right, what do Cap's missile evasion videos say? That we should crank, offset, and perform a radar notch for like 90 degrees from the radar site. Oh my goodness, we're being fired at. Look! We can see that it's on our 90-degree line. It's not quite right. We should place it on that 90-degree line there. But let's go and check our missile. There's our harm. I press F6 and use the mouse to scroll around like this. Woof! Got to place that missile in the notch, viewers. Place it in the notch. Why does a notch work, viewers? Doesn't matter. Noob friendly. No time to worry about that. Just trust me. It worked. There it is. Right in the notch. Look, viewers. He can't get me now. Ha, ha, ha. Right, down comes the missile. And I'm about to kaboom him. If I don't die before then. Now, look. They hit that building by accident. How embarrassing for him. And don't worry. No civilians were harmed in making this. Look at that. I've shot the thingy site. The SAM site, viewers. Where is it? There it is. All right. SA6 defeated. And lots of stuff learnt along the way, viewers. And hopefully some friends made along the way. Right, gain some composure, guys. We're going to go just a minute. I can physically see a baddie there, look. I'm going to pause. Right, what did Cap teach us about radar and how to use air-to-air missiles? Let's think, as simple as possible. Well, I'm going to press missile override switch, missile override. Pretty terribly written here, but all it means is a BVR mode where we can use missiles beyond visual range. Well, let's press that. Pip. Okay, let's automatically put this into air-to-air. It's got our radar automatically up and functioning, and I can even see, if I pause, the bad guy there. Look, there's a block on my radar if we've watched the radar tutorial. If we couldn't see him, we may need to slew our radar up or down. Remember, the radar only scans a very thin piece of sky in terms of elevation, big in terms of azimuth, small in terms of elevation, so we may need to aim the radar up and down. Of course, this is all covered in huge detail in the various videos, viewers. I'm just trying to show you what you may need. So, Ant Elev Nob Kl. Terribly written, but again, all covered in my videos, viewers. Or KKK. In English, that means radar antenna up or down. As it happens, I don't need to because I can see him. So I'm going to use all the buttons we've seen so far, bearing in mind that the radar screen here is already soy because it's got a box around it. I'm going to unpause. I'm going to use my cursor as we saw before to go over here. TMS up, Pip, right. We've got him locked. Beautiful, viewers. Radars are very complex in real life and very complex in DCS, and I go over all the intricacies and idiosyncrasies, of course, in the videos in detail. But today, the time-strapped noob doesn't have time for that. I want to lock and fire. Look how I'm pausing all the time, viewers. Isn't that annoying? No, it's not. It's good. The time-strapped noob should pause all the time. Press pause on your keyboard and you can pause. It gives you time to think and digest what's going on. I do it all the time on single player when I'm just learning a new system. So look, right, what does Cap's video say? There's the baddie. Right, I'm a time-strapped noob, so I can just check on the F10 map, make sure he is a baddie, so I don't have to worry about all the IFF systems, which are really complex in these planes. Yeah, he's red. He's a baddie. Great. What a missile have I got selected? Right, the HUD tutorial said, yeah, right, 2 MRM. What does that mean? Oh, I remember, medium range missile, 2 of them. That must be an AMRAAM I've got. Right, now, what about firing it? I remember Cap saying missiles have a finite range and depend on atmospheric pressure and various parameters of aircraft. Oh, it's all too complex. Oh, look, I've got a DLZ, a dynamic launch zone here that tells me when to fire the missile. Piloting aircraft is very complex. The systems are here to make it simple for the pilot. Well, currently is at that distance there, which is above the maximum range there. Right, don't fire at the moment. Okay, go. Put my afterburner on, full throttle. Right. Okay, we're now inside the maximum range. What should I do now? I can't remember. Oh, yes, it's weapon release. Spelt really badly, I know, but again, covered in all my videos. Press that, see what happens. Did it fire? Oh, it did fire. Look at that. The missile came off. That's absolutely wonderful. Ha! As it just so happens, I lost track. Trying to make DCS videos simple is sometimes quite difficult. But it just so happens there, viewers, he flew at a particular angle which fooled my radar. And I've actually lost radar lock on him. Well, that's the thing about DCS being realistic. It is super realistic, viewers. That would happen in real life. So let's not get frustrated. Let's carry on. Let's see what happens. Is the missile going to track? It might track anyway, because this missile is a complex missile. It has its own radar on board, and it can find new targets if it has to. And it turns out it has. As the aircraft down. So that, viewers, is pretty much the end of the line for us. Why have I done this ridiculous, terribly made, stupid video? It's all part of looking at how to make DCS simple and accessible. It's an incredibly complex sim with 1,000,001 variables. It's your job, the viewer, to make it as simple as possible and for me to help you do that. So, to reiterate what we've done today, viewers, I've showed you where to get information of how to install the game and set it up, all its myriad of variables if you want, or keep it simple. I've shown you where to find information on how to buy, download and install modules if you want. You don't have to, you can just use the free ones if you want. One of the big bears in DCS, setting up your controls. I've shown you how to make it as simple as possible, showing you the controls that you just need. You can add more if you want in time, but the ones you really need. And I've even given you templates to use on certain joysticks. I've shown you where to get information about how to do literally everything in the mission editor. And again, I suggest you empower yourself by learning the mission editor. It's a really good way of growing, rather than relying on the in-game missions. And just for funsies, I've shown how we can jump in an aeroplane with no preparation at all, use a minimum of controls. I've probably used, 12, 15 controls here, the ones that we need. I've shot a SAM site. Stuff hasn't worked. That always happens. We've got to think, why doesn't it work? Oh, it's because of that. It's because of this. How to control the aircraft. I've shown that you can go and read a big manual, and that's great. That's the best way of doing it. But let's face it, most of you won't, because no one has time for that. But I've shown where to get the Grim Reaper's tutorials, showing you every single part of every single aircraft in as concise time as I can. As a summary, it's key not to get frustrated. I get very frustrated at DCS, and I show it in my videos. I don't hide anything. I don't script the videos. And you can see me swearing and effing and blinding at DCS all day long. And that's just part of it. It doesn't scare me off. I just come back the next day and figure out what went wrong, and then we try again. At the end of it, is it really worth it? Yeah, I think so. I could go and do something else, and I could probably have a lot more fun playing a different game, maybe a simpler game, maybe one that gives you a dopamine hit much quicker, is easier to get into. I'll get a lot more views probably because it's not as niche. I'd actually be able to afford food for my wife, who's constantly angry at me for making videos like this. But it is worth it because I prefer doing things that are difficult to do and give you a sense of achievement at the end. And that's what I think DCS is all about. You put a bunch of work in, and at the end, you get a nice big feeling, a reward. You've done this. It's hard. Not many people can do it. Well done. Let's go and do it again. Please don't forget to join the GR Discord. The only reason I say that is because we've got loads of help in place to help noobs, especially for multiplayer. We've got multiplayer servers, all based around training. We do training is what we do in GR. Come in, it's all free. I know I used to charge for lessons ages ago, but that was a means to an end. I don't do it anymore. Just come in, get free training. That's all I've got, viewers. I hope that was useful, and bye-bye.